Sagittarius Horoscope for 2017. Major trends. Saturn, your financial planet, has been in your sign for the past 2 years and will be there almost till the end of the year ahead. While this is bringing prosperity and financial opportunity, it has made you a bit cold, businesslike and standoffish to others. The social life has been affected by this. More on this later. The year ahead looks prosperous, with Saturn remaining in your sign almost all year. On December 21st, he moves into your money house, a strong position. He is powerful on your behalf. More on this later. Jupiter, the ruler of your horoscope, spends most of the year in your 11th house. This is a year for friendships and group activities. A year for manifesting fondest hopes and wishes. New and important friends are coming into the picture. On October 11th, Jupiter will move into your spiritual 12th house, and spirituality will start to become important. This will be the case well into next year. You enter a period of spiritual growth. Spirituality is important in other ways too. Pluto, your spiritual planet, has been in your money house since 2008. Your spiritual understanding and insight is having concrete bottom-line results, and this is a long-term trend. Pluto will be here for many more years. Neptune has been in your 4th house since 2012 and will be there for many more years. The family relationship is becoming elevated and spiritualized, a long-term process. Uranus has been in your 5th house since 2011. Children and children figures in your life have been more rebellious and difficult to handle. Give them as much freedom as possible, so long as it isn't destructive. They should be taught safe ways to test the limits of their bodies. Your areas of greatest interest this year are the body and image, finance, home and family, children, fun and creativity, friends, group and online activities, until October 11th, and spirituality, from October 11th onwards. Your paths of greatest fulfillment this year are career, until April 29th, religion, philosophy, higher education and foreign travel, from April 29th onwards, friends, group and online activities, until October 11th, and spirituality, from October 11th onwards. Health. Health is much improved over last year and will improve even further towards the end of the year. In the meantime, there are 2 long-term planets stressing you out. Of itself, this is not enough to cause disease, but still overall energy is not what it should be. The periods to watch this year are when the short-term planets put additional stress on you. This is when you become more vulnerable to problems. These periods are from February 19th to March 20th. April 20th to June 21st, and August 22nd to September 22nd. Be sure to rest and relax more over these times and do your best to maintain high energy levels. I would rate your health as okay. Not spectacular but adequate. Your empty 6th house, only short-term planets move through there, is a good sign. You don't have a need to overly focus here. There is much you can do to improve your health and energy and prevent problems from developing. Give more attention to the following, the vulnerable areas of your chart. The liver and thighs. These are always important for Sagittarius. Regular thigh massage should be a part of your normal health regime. Regular herbal liver cleansings too. Liver action has been sluggish in recent years and needs more energy. The neck and throat. These, too, are always important for Sagittarius. Regular neck massage will release tension and strengthen the whole area. Craniosacral therapy is also good here. The kidneys and hips. These are also another important area. Hips and buttocks should be regularly massaged. A herbal kidney cleanse every now and then would also be good, especially if you feel under the weather. The heart. This has only become important in recent years, since Christmas 2014. You're very much involved in worldly affairs these days, especially business. Avoid worry and anxiety, the two emotions that stress the heart. Develop more faith. Venus as your health planet indicates the importance of social harmony in health. For you, good health means a healthy love and social life. Even if you have no physical symptoms, if the love life isn't right, you probably won't feel well. If the discord is prolonged, it can produce pathologies in the body. So, if health problems arise, God forbid, restore harmony in the social life as quickly as you can. Venus is a fast-moving planet. She will move through all the signs and houses of your horoscope in any given year. Thus there are many short-term trends in health, different needs and different effective therapies, depending on where she is and the aspects she receives. These are best covered in the monthly reports. Venus will make one of her rare, once every 2 years, retrogrades this year, from March 4th to April 15th. Avoid making dramatic dietary or health regime changes during that period. Do more research. Your thinking on these matters is not realistic then. Health. Health is much improved over last year and will improve even further towards the end of the year. Home and family. This has been a troubling area these past few years and has required much of your attention and focus. This trend continues in the year ahead, but is less severe than in the past 2 years. By the end of the year, things at home get much happier. A parent or parent figure in your life seems very stressed out. You and this person are having financial disagreements. Family obligations seem to stress you financially. Family members are much more sensitive than usual and are easily hurt. You are by nature an upfront kind of person. You say what you want to say forthrightly. You tend to be bluntly honest. But this doesn't sit well with family members. They can see this as cruelty or gross insensitivity. From your point of view, you don't see it this way. You're just being forthright. But they would see it this way. So, make more of an effort to be more diplomatic in your speech and opinions. The family's sensitivities go deeper than just speech. They tend to react to voice tone and body language too. If, for example, you were annoyed by something that happened at work, and you came home and had a conversation, your tone of irritation would impact on them. They could feel it was directed at them. A little more care in these matters will save much heartache down the road. Finance, as we mentioned, is an important area this year. Family could feel that you care more about your business affairs than you do for them. From their perspective, you're putting business first. There is a solar eclipse on February 26th that not only occurs in your 4th house but also impacts on Neptune, the ruler of that house. Family and family relationships seem very stressed by this. There could be personal, life-changing dramas in their lives. Passions run high. Sometimes repairs are needed in the home. Be more patient with the family at this time. On October 11th, as Jupiter moves into Scorpio, moves could happen. You will start to get on better with the family and especially with a parent or parent figure. But the financial disagreements are not fully resolved until the end of the year. When Jupiter moves into Scorpio, the family circle will expand, usually through birth or marriage. Sometimes the circle expands through meeting people who play the role of family in your life. Children and children figures in your life have been difficult to handle for many years now. They don't respond well to the authoritarian approach. They are more rebellious than usual. However, if they are made to understand the why of your requests, things should go much better. Many children these days are addicted to the internet and high-tech gadgetry, but yours more so than others. You always like large, spacious homes, Sagittarius, but these days, especially since 2012, waterfront homes are most attractive. If you're planning major repairs or renovations, January 1st-28, June 4th to July 20th, and December 9th-31 are good times. If you're redecorating or otherwise beautifying the home, January 3rd to February 3rd and February 18th to March 20th seem good for this. finance and career. Prosperity has been happening since Christmas 2014 as your financial planet, Saturn, moved into your sign, and he remains here for almost all of the year ahead. The prosperity continues. Money is on your mind. You're focused here. You have naturally good intuition for the travel business, airlines, foreign investments and for-profit colleges, but now it is even better than normal. Invest in the things that you love, that interest you. Of course, the best investment is in yourself. You're spending on yourself these days. You're dressing expensively and creating an image of wealth. Others are seeing you this way. The money people in your life are devoted to you, on your side and helping out. And you seem like a money person in your own right, especially with others. Personal appearance and overall presentation are very important financially, and this could be reason for the spending. It's more like a business investment than vanity. The good thing about your financial planet's position in your own sign is that there's nothing special you need to do to attract earnings or financial opportunities. These are seeking you out. You just go about your daily affairs and money will find you. There is a downside to this, however. There could be a tendency to define yourself in terms of money. The financial statement is me. If I make more, then I am more. If I make less, then I'm somehow diminished. This can distort the financial judgment and lead to losses. You need to keep the ego out of the way in your financial decision-making. Generally you're a risk-taker in finance, but less so these past few years. This is a good thing. The financial judgment is sound and conservative, and will become more so after December 21st. You have a good long-range perspective on wealth, a good sense of what an investment will be worth many years down the road. These past few years, and this continues in the year ahead, has been a great time to set up savings and investment plans, budgets and the like. There's something comforting about a good plan. Once it's set up, you don't need to think too much about it. Just follow it and wealth will happen more or less on schedule. Pluto, as we have mentioned, has been in your money house for many years and will be there for many more to come. A Pluto transit is a long-term process. So, this shows that you're forging your financial intuition. This is, and will become ever more so, an important tool in your financial arsenal. Perhaps the most important one. But this transit also shows other things. Those of you of appropriate age are doing estate planning now. Younger Sagittarians have inherited substantial sums and now need to invest the windfalls properly. Taxes and estate issues are governing much of your financial decision-making. The north node of the moon will be in your 10th house until April 29th. So the career should be going well, a source of fulfillment. This would also show strong and perhaps excessive ambition, which tends to success. Perhaps you're more ambitious than you need to be. After April 29th, ambitions taper off and career is not such a big factor for you. Wealth is more important than status or prestige. Love and social life. Your 7th house hasn't been strong for some years now. Romance doesn't seem a big issue this year. Some years are like that. Generally this shows a stable year tending towards the status quo. Those who are married will tend to stay married and singles will tend to stay single. You have a lot of social freedom this year. There's nothing against marriage or a serious relationship, just lack of interest. The cosmos is not impelling you one way or the other. The overall social life is another story. This is active and happy. But this social life is more about friendship, platonic kinds of relationships, not romance. You seem very focused here and proactive. You're cultivating friendships and group activities. New and happy friendships are happening. Your love planet, Mercury, is, second to the moon, the fastest moving of all the planets. He is also one of the most erratic. Sometimes he moves ultra fast, sometimes slow, sometimes, 4 times this year, he moves backwards, sometimes he is motionless. This can make you seem fickle and difficult to please, difficult to figure out in love. Yes, at different times your needs and desires in love change. Sometimes one thing pleases you, sometimes another. Sometimes you show love one way, sometimes another. This is just your nature. You follow Mercury's movements. This being the case, there are many short-term trends in love that depend on where Mercury is and the aspects he receives. These short-term trends are best covered in the monthly reports. Anyone in love with a Sagittarius will have to learn many roles. He or she will need great flexibility. Saturn, as we have mentioned, has been in your sign for some time now. While this has many good points, which we have mentioned, it is not the greatest aspect for love. We have written of this in previous years and the tendency is still in effect. You seem too serious, too businesslike, too cool, too aloof and distant. Now, you're not really like this. There is no warmer, more ebullient person on the planet than Sagittarius. Yet, these days, people can see you this way if you're not careful. The Saturn influence is like a drug, a serious drug. You can be emanating this vibration or feeling without intending to. The solution, as we have said in previous years, is to make a project of sending love and warmth to others. Normally you wouldn't have to do this, it would come out naturally. But now you must do it consciously. This will help the love life a lot. Saturn will move out of your sign on December 21st. The love life should improve after that. What we've said applies to all of you but especially those of you in or working on the first, second or fourth marriage. Those working on the third marriage have excellent aspects this year. Serious romance is very likely. Children and children figures in your life have beautiful romantic aspects this year. If they are of appropriate age, marriage could happen. Whatever their age, they are making new and happy friendships. Siblings and sibling figures have a stable romantic year. Those who are married will tend to stay married, and singles will tend to stay single. Self-improvement. Your spiritual planet, Pluto, has been in your money house for many years, as we have mentioned. For you, spirituality, your spiritual understanding of how things work, is far from pie-in-the-sky abstraction. It has strong financial consequences. You're always intuitive in finances, but now even more so. Yes, you put on an exterior of logic and finance speak for the world, but in truth your intuition is the deciding factor. We have written of this in previous years, but the trend, and process, is still in effect. You're going deeper into the spiritual, not so much the worldly, laws of wealth. This is a huge subject. We don't learn it in a few years. It's not like getting a business degree. There are many personal experiments that need to be made. There is much delving into the subconscious blockages in human learning that has to be unpicked. We cannot access the spiritual supply with only intellectual knowledge. One must practice. One must contact the spirit of affluence itself, allow it to come in and teach us how to be affluent. Affluence knows how. There is a need to set aside all human wisdom on the subject and allow the pure spirit to teach us directly. If you do this, and many of you are, you will see that the economic laws taught in school are not the way they are being taught. There is a spiritual economics which supersedes all of that. You're getting initiated into this spiritual economics these days. Spiritual economics is not concerned with any material condition. A person attuned to the spiritual affluence could be on a desert island and he or she would still be supplied with everything needed in that environment. Spiritual affluence is never about how much we have, but about how much we can receive. In many cases, this is not true for you, but for many others, the wealth concepts, the mental containers, are not big enough to hold the spiritual supply. If one goes to the ocean with only a cup, one will only take away a cupful, though there are huge amounts of water to be had. If one comes with a barrel, one will take away a barrel, but that is not all there is to be had. The ocean doesn't care how much you take. The thing is, one must know that there is an ocean there. Your spiritual lessons will intensify after October 11th as Jupiter enters your 12th house. This will not only assist in finances, but in your personal growth and in your ability to handle the family.